Hey, all you mentees, Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, and join me today for my advanced look at The Avengers by Jason Aaron Volume 2 hardcover from Marvel Comics. So, let's get started. Before getting started, a huge thank you to David Gabriel and the folks at Marvel for sending us an advanced copy of this deluxe edition. This hardcover is due out in the direct market and book market on April 5th, so it has slipped into the April days of release, but it is finally coming out. Here we have Avengers, the oversized hardcover volume 2 by Jason Aaron, and this is what the front cover looks like. This is actually, I think this is the final issue that's collected in here from issue 21. So you have the lineup of Avengers, and this is just some of them because Jason Aaron likes to use obscure characters for his Avengers, which is really cool. You know, I mean, Jonathan Hickman did the same thing. It's not quite that big of a cast like Jonathan Hickman had, but it's still a different array of characters. And here you have Avengers, Volume 2 at the bottom, Aaron, Marquez, and McGuinness, and then the back of the book right here. And the book retailing for $39.99, rated T+. So let's look at it underneath this dust jacket. So underneath the dust jacket is this image by Ed McGuinness of She-Hulk using a hammer to knock the crap out of Ulick the Troll, which is one of the storylines in here. So let's talk about the stories collected in here and show off this artwork that's found in this particular hardcover. Alright, so let's get this opened. You have these red end pages here. And here we have Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers. And this piece of art right here drawn by Ed McGuinness. Here are all your credits, and the stories are collected in here. You have Jason Aaron, Andre Sorrentino, Ed McGuinness, Stefano Caselli, David Marquez, and Jason Master supplying the artwork. And then we kick it off with issue number 13. So this does collect issues 13 through 21 of Avengers, and that is the 2018 relaunch of Avengers, the one that Jason Aaron has been writing. It also contains material from Free Comic Book Day 2019 Avengers / Savage Avengers, and it just contains the Avengers story. So kicking it off with this particular issue, and this is the, I want to say this is probably the brightest, if that makes any sense, the lightest, there we go, maybe that's what I meant, not brightest, artwork I've ever seen out of Andre Sorrentino. So used to seeing Sorrentino's artwork just use this contrast between black and white that there's not really a lot of shadows in this particular issue. But this does focus on the character of Iron Fist, but it's not the character of Danny that we're used to. It's a character that showed up a million years ago. So it's more of a legacy of like who this character was. And this is also what kickstarts something that a lot of people have noticed with Jason Aaron's run, and that is going back and kind of retconning a little bit about the Avengers, the Phoenix Force, Odin, and all these characters that came to be before the Avengers that we know. Now, this isn't the first time somebody has tried to retcon or made up the idea that, hey, the Avengers existed well before 1960s. We've had other writers do the same thing, but we are talking about a million years ago, the Avengers existing. So that's just a one-shot introducing us to this character and the possibility that the Avengers were formed millions of years ago, all led by this guy named Odin. So then we have this big war between the vampires, and we have this new character named the Shadow Colonel, and it's this guy right here, and yes, that is maybe Man-Thing, maybe Man-Child, or Child-Thing. That's what they go by. You can find out for yourself. This focuses more on the character of Blade and his relationship to these vampires and these creatures. So you have the Shadow Colonel and his forces. They're trying to find, of course, the main vampire, and that's Dracula. So the Avengers are also looking for Dracula. And it's this all-out civil war between vampires, and Blade and the Avengers are caught in the middle of it. And then you have a conflict between Ghost Rider and Blade. And by the end of it, Blade, decides to stay with the Avengers. And you can find out exactly what the status quo is of Dracula after reading this particular story. This one was only about 4 issues long. But this is mainly David Marquez's artwork. Now, after that particular issue, we do have this event right here, which is part of the Heroes Reborn event. So it's just for one issue, maybe a little bit of another issue. It's been collected before in trade paperback, and we are getting an omnibus of this particular event coming out later this year. But it's pretty much the characters from the Squadron Supreme crossing over, and they are now Earth's mightiest heroes. And only certain characters like Blade remember that they weren't always Earth's mightiest heroes. They were also the Avengers. Then we have some War of the Realms tie-in issues here. And these can be enjoyed as is. You don't need to have read the War of the Realms in order to enjoy these particular issues. There's one in here that's pretty funny, almost tongue-in-cheek. Oh, I love Daredevil during this era. It's almost... It's a little self-aware of... Here, let me just show you. Of She-Hulk. And it's Jason Aaron's argument about She-Hulk and the original She-Hulk. And for those of you that have read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the way that she handles quote-unquote trolls. Because as we saw that little spoilerish image on the cover, we do see this right here for just kicking the crap out of Ulick with that hammer. So the book has 226 pages. Then we have this one shot right here, The Day After a Day Unlike Any Other. It's a hell of a title. This one's pretty interesting. It's a standalone story featuring the Avengers, and that's kind of low-key. Yes, we still live on Avengers Mountain. It's a little low-key for these characters, but some villain is pulling the strings at them and setting up the events of what's to come. And speaking of setting up the events of what's to come, that really is found in the pages of the Free Comic Book Day 2019. This sets up the stage for the next few events. Because we just had Heroes Reborn, we had them go through War of the Realms. What else could be happening? Well, we set up more of the Squadron Supreme in here. We set up some Phoenix things. We set up the original million-year-old Avengers. The Shi'ar get involved, but you can find out for yourself what exactly set up. We do have a Volume 3 solicited for later this year, but let's look at the extras. So as far as the extras, we have the variant covers, all done in a splash page. And this is the character I was talking about earlier, Shadow Colonel. And his legion against the Avengers, and caught in the middle is Dracula. And honestly, while I flip through here, this volume just felt like... Didn't feel like the same guy that was writing Thor. I really enjoyed Volume 1. Like, the very first fight. Anytime you relaunch a era of Avengers, I get excited. Yes, and even though I have strong feelings about the way that Bendis wrote Avengers, it was still exciting to read New Avengers. You know, you have, oh my gosh, Wolverine is joining. Oh man, Spider-Man, this is going to be great. No matter what, I get excited. I think any kid at heart, or any person that's a kid at heart, gets excited for those glory days of the lineup changing up. So maybe that had something to do with it. It does have some good artwork, though. You have Marquez, you have Ed McGuinness in here, Stefano Caselli. But, I don't know, this one just, as far as the story, just... It took a little bit of a dip. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first story arc. And I've been reading them in trade paperback. So, and that's all the extras. And we'll talk about the binding. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm alone. I don't know how anybody else feels about it. I stay away from reviews. Mainly I base it on what people are saying on the comments section as to how people are feeling about certain things. But I don't know. Maybe people are loving this, or maybe people aren't digging it. But guy's been around for almost 50 issues, so there are definitely people that are loving his Avengers run. Or maybe like the Curse of X. People are just getting it because it's an Avengers title and they have to. This is interesting. I forgot about this part too. And vampires are also dealing with Russia as well. So it was good to see the addition of Blade on the team and playing more of a big role. And it is silly, but it happens in every run when you think about how easy other Avengers like Thor or Captain Marvel could have wiped out all of these vampires. But they're kind of taken out of commission. But anyway, that is just my 2 cents. Maybe it was a little more than that. Maybe it was 3 cents. Here is what the eye looks like. It is sewn binding. So the book lays over really nice. And with 226 pages, there really isn't much need of an eye. The way that it lays here towards the beginning and towards the back here. Actually, no gutter loss at all. I will say it's got that going for it. But that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this book, don't forget to check out our sponsors. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. That was the content, the page count, and build of this deluxe edition. Let me know in the comments down below if you are picking this up, if you've been reading Jason Aaron's run on Avengers in trade paperback or in single issue format, what you think of the run. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. We are on Spreadshop and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. And more importantly, all of you, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.